ask you a question. By a show of hands, how many of you in this room geek? And when I say geek, I mean you are excited by a topic that others find boring. Yeah, everyone should be raising their hands, because for every topic that someone loves, someone else finds boring. For example, football. I know people who are passionate about football. To me, yawn fest. So the question becomes, when you're up here speaking about your topic, that from your perception is the best thing ever, how do you make it interesting, exciting for people in the room who may not share that passion? Well, today, I'm going to share with you 3 keys that can make any topic, at least a little bit, interesting to your audience. The 3 keys are: know your topic. Know it well. 2, show, don't tell as much as possible. And 3, incorporate human drama. Now let me go over each one in a little more detail. 1, know your topic well. If you are going to speak about something technical, dry, maybe scientific, or maybe has a lot of facts to it, you should know more about the topic than you're actually going to talk about in your speech. For example, today I'm talking about public speaking. Now, I've been a Toastmaster since 1989. I competed in speech in high school. I know a fair amount about public speaking, but I could not possibly share with you all the knowledge I have about public speaking in 5 to 7 minutes. So I was able to pick out choice pieces of information about public speaking to share with you today. What I'm trying to say here is know the forest so you can talk about the trees. Now, why does this help make a speech interesting? For one, when you have a breadth of knowledge about a topic, you can cherry pick the interesting bits. Secondly, when you know your topic, you can stand up here in a place of power. You know your topic. So if you're following notes and you misplace one, you know what you're talking about. You don't need to depend on them so much, and you come from a place of confidence. You know your stuff. And thirdly, it's important because you can give the information with greater ease. William Zinsser wrote in his book, Writing to Learn, "The reader should be given only as much information as he needs and not one word more. Anything else is self-indulgence." When you know your topic, you give your audience exactly what they need to know. Key number 2, show, don't tell, as much as possible. Let's face it, facts are more often than not dry. Many of them are hard to wrap your mind around without some examples. So give your audience some examples. Show them what you mean. Use word pictures or actual pictures. Use analogy. Compare unknown things to things that are more familiar. For example, I could say the average distance to the moon is 238,857 miles. How many of you really grasp what that means? I didn't think so. Let me show you a little bit more. Give you some examples. If you were to shrink the size of the solar system so that the Earth was the size of a baseball, then the moon would be almost 7 feet away. Probably right about where, if I were the Earth, Sept would be the moon. Or you could travel the equivalent distance of the Earth to the moon if you went around the world at the equator 9.56 times. Now that's more mileage than most people do in a lifetime. That's why it took the Apollo astronauts 3 days, 3 hours, and 49 minutes to get to the moon. Now do you have a better grasp of the distance? Yes?
Yes.
I rest my case. Key 3, incorporate human drama. People like stories. They especially like stories about people. They like drama. And I'm not talking drama queen drama. I'm talking about stories that people can relate to. Personal stories. Stories of struggle and triumph. Stories that bring what you're talking about to life. One of the clearest illustrations of this key, for me, was the topic of history. In high school, I hated history. It was boring. It was dull. And I especially hated the westward expansion. Oh my God, a bunch of settlers trotting along in their little thingies with horses across, oh God, boring. So when I got into college and I had to take a history class, I made sure I chose the class that wasn't going to cover the westward expansion. Unfortunately, apparently I didn't learn that time of history very well because I got the years wrong and picked the history class that covered the westward expansion. And I was like, no! But then something happened. My teacher taught history through stories of the settlers, through stories of the Native Americans. He taught it what was their life like? What did they eat? What challenges did they face? And how did they face them? Basically, he humanized history. And I've been a fan of really well-told history since then. Ask yourself, how can you make your topic accessible? How can you humanize your information? Show your audience why they should care. A very good example of this was a book called The Making of the Atomic Bomb. It's like this thick. And it's about the history from the moment the atomic bomb being possible to it actually dropping in Japan. And the writer told it as a mystery. Things unfolding. So if you find your mystery, find your story, you'll make your topic interesting. And now I have a bonus key. Don't take yourself too seriously. Incorporate humor. Bring your personality into your presentation with inflection, word choice, story choice, body language. There are plenty of examples where humor has been used to teach dry topics. My favorite happens to be punctuation, a dry topic. Well, Karen Elizabeth Gordon tackles it with a dark and dry wit in her book, The Well-Tempered Sentence, and the follow-up, The Transitive Vampire. Pick them up, they are a great read. So now I've given you 4 keys that can make any topic you have to talk about at least a little bit interesting. Know your topic well, show, don't tell, incorporate human drama, and don't take yourself seriously. As a member of Toastmasters, you are given the opportunity to give plenty of speeches where you can use these 4 keys. In fact, in your Competent Communicator manual, there are projects that actually focus on some of these keys. And with each speech that you stand up here and give, you can get better at making your topic, whatever it may be, more exciting. Mr. Toastmaster.